Mr. Mayor, it's time.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Still 5:59. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for the invocation by Pastora Nubia Hughes, Ministerios Vida de Fe.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts, acknowledging you as the source of all wisdom and peace. Thank you for the opportunity to gather and serve the people of the city. We ask for your guidance over this meeting. Give our leaders clarity of thought, integrity in every decision, and a heart for justice and compassion. May they seek the good of all. Help us to listen with respect, speak with kindness, and act with courage. May unity and peace prevail even in moments of disagreement. Bless our city, its residents, and every person working for its betterment. Let your wisdom direct our steps and your love bind us together in common purpose. We thank you that the word says that in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ms. Hughes, can you talk about your church, where it's located and ministry?
Yes, our church, Iglesia Vida de Fe, is located on the corner of First and G. We have been here in Douglas for a little over 20 years now. We serve the community on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. We're open for everybody, and whoever wants to visit, it's more than welcome to.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Item number 4, roll call, please.
Mayor Jose Licata,
Here.
Representative Tania Acosta, Councilmember Melissa Rodriguez,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Montaño,
Here.
Councilmember Ray Shelton,
Present.
Councilmember Michael Valenegro,
Present.
Councilmember Richard Acosta,
Present.
City Manager Ana Ortiz,
Present.
City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons,
Present.
City Treasurer Alejandro Martinez.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, Mayor Representative Tania Acosta is.
Thank you. Item number 5, events update.
Hello, everyone. Here's what's happening this month with the Douglas Parks and Recreation Department. We're currently hosting our annual summer camp running from June 2nd to June 26th. We have just 2 weeks left, so don't forget to sign up the kiddos for summer fun and exciting activities. Next up, our 4th of July celebration is right around the corner, happening Friday, July 4th. Start your day with our community parade, then join us at the park for an afternoon filled with local food vendors, family-friendly activities, live music, and a car show. We are currently accepting vendor and parade signups, so if you'd like to be a part of the fun, now is the time to register. After the 4th of July, we're bringing back Mexican baseball with the date to be determined, so stay tuned. Also, don't forget our open swim hours at the H Street Municipal Pool happening Wednesday through Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Lap swim is available Monday through Friday from 5 to 8 a.m. and 5:15 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 7 to 10 a.m. at our aquatic center. And last but not least, our next movie in the park will be showing on August 1st. Stay connected and check out our Facebook page for updates on all our events. Thanks, and I hope to see you out enjoying the summer fun.
Hello from the Douglas Public Library. We are in week 2 of our summer reading program, and registration is still open for all ages, including adults. Kids who register will get weekly prizes for reading and participating in our activities, and adults will get prizes at the end of the summer for completing their reading bingo. We really hope to see you here this summer. We still have so many activities left in June and July. This Friday, we have a very special event, our summer kickoff party on June 13th at 6 p.m. at Castro Park with a juggling show, games, snacks, and a registration table for all those who still need to register for our program. On June 17th at 2 p.m., we will have a tie-dye party for kids, and you can register by phone or by visiting the library. All materials are included. On June 20th, we have our summer paint night for adults at 6 p.m. And you can also register by phone or by visiting the library, and materials are also all included for that. Other than that, we have our Monday relaxing activities. We have STEAM activities on Tuesday. We have movies on Wednesday, story time on Thursday. We have so many things for all ages, and you can pick up a calendar just like this one at the library, or you can like us on Facebook and Instagram and follow us there, and don't miss out on any of our cool activities this summer. We hope to see you here. Bye.
Thunder Mountain Wrestling presents Stampede WWE Hall of Fame Billy Gunn on June 28, 2025. At Douglas High School, 1500 East 15th Street, Douglas AZ 85607. Meet and greet starts at 3:30 p.m. and is $20. General admission doors open at 5 p.m. and is free. The show starts at 5:30 p.m. Scan the QR code to purchase your tickets.
Come Saturday, June 14th to the Villar Entertainment Event Center. The City of Douglas presents Luis Coronel.
¿Qué pasó? Sé que fue un error haberte dado mi amor.
Doors open at 8 p.m. Showtime starts at 9 p.m. at 1703 East 9th Street in Douglas. Special guest performance by Michael Pelagia. Don't miss Luis Coronel live in concert Saturday, June 14th. Purchase tickets on Eventbrite or buy in person at City Hall or Villar Entertainment.
Solo por una aventura.
Thank you. Item number 6, Mayor and Council Member updates and or reports. Do we have any? Had a trip to Flagstaff last week for AZ Chow invited it was a rural health. They help out with, different aspects in health, behavioral health and, drug prevention. I kind of went to see if we could get a facility that's in need in Douglas. I did get a contact and patched them through also to Supervisor Gomez, so we could work on that. Also, it just came from Mexico City with Mr. Pedrosa and Mrs. Urquijo. We met with Mexican officials and US officials. And the first thing they kept saying was Douglas, Douglas. Even to the point where our consultant, Luis Ramirez, said, we don't even have to present. They're already talking about us, but we did. We're the talk of the town, especially with that new port. And also, I want to thank the mayor of Agua Prieta. He invited me to Bashikui. They had an opera there. I said, we need to have an opera, so we'll see if we can get them down here. And also, with that 9 mayors from Sonoras, that we had a group. Now they're recruiting people. So now we have Magdalena in Sonora, who's interested in being a part of trade, commerce, and tourism with Douglas through our new port. Other than that, busy week. That's why I'm kind of under the weather, tired, whatever you want to call it. So I appreciate, everyone who's been part of the process. Item number 7, reading of proclamations. Whereas on September 27th, 2024, the Douglas community experienced an unexpected loss of the sudden and heartbreaking passing of 12-year-old Taylor Moen, a cherished son, brother, student, teammate, and friend. And whereas Taylor, who wore number 98 with pride as a member of the Douglas Youth Football League Bulldogs, brought joy, warmth, and kindness to all who knew him, and was deeply loved by his family, friends, and community. And whereas in the wake of this tragedy, the people of Douglas demonstrated remarkable unity and compassion, coming together through vigils, fundraisers, and countless acts of support to stand with the Moen family, Marcus, Karina, and their loved ones during an immensely difficult time. And whereas the memory of Taylor has sparked vital conversations about youth mental health, grief, and the importance of open communication between children, parents, and educators, inspiring a renewed commitment to listening, loving, and looking out for one another. And whereas Taylor's life, though far too short, serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of community, kindness, connection, and compassion, values that he embodied, which and which we now carry forward in his honor. Now therefore, I, Jose Grijalva, Mayor of the City of Douglas, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of June as Taylor Moen Month. During his birthday month, we honor Taylor's memory, celebrate his life, and recommit ourselves to building a supportive and loving community for all our youth. Let us use this time to uplift one another, educate ourselves and others about mental health, and ensure that no voice goes unheard and no heart feels alone. And he has great parents. It all starts in the home. So a loving family. We lost one of our own, and with this, we'll never forget him. So I'd like to invite the Moen family, and I think you have also supporters if you all want to come for this proclamation, and I'd like to invite council also. Next proclamation, whereas on June 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation and established that all enslaved people in Confederate States shall be set free. And whereas on June 19th, 1865, in Galveston, Texas, enslaved men and women received word of General Order Number 3 proclaiming to the people of Texas that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. And whereas the African-American men and women of Texas were kept in bondage for over 2 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation went into effect and had not yet been granted their God-given freedom. And whereas in 1866, Black Freedom organized the first celebration of Jubilee Day on June 19th, featuring music, ethnic cuisines, prayer services, and other activities. And whereas celebration of the end of slavery, which became known as Juneteenth, is the oldest public celebration of the end of slavery in the United States. And whereas Juneteenth celebration is a reminder of the precious promises of the freedom, equality, and opportunity which are at the core of the American dream. And whereas Juneteenth provides an opportunity to recount and remember that freedom has not always been extended to every life in America. And whereas every day is an opportunity to strive to fully realize the ideals of our nation and ensure that the promise of a free and just society is guaranteed for every citizen. And whereas we humbly recognize each and every human being is made in the image of God, now therefore let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, and on Mayor and on behalf of the City of Douglas Council, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth in the City of Douglas, Arizona, and urge all citizens to become aware of the significance of this celebration in American history and in the heritage of our nation and state. Item 8. Persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda. Mrs. Angela Domich.
Hello, Mayor and council members. Thank you for having me today. I'm here to talk about what a lot of people are talking about right now, which is a food bank. And my organization, Arizona Roots, has started a food bank. And it is a cooperative food bank. And that is to empower the city with jobs. When I first got here, my husband and I, we wanted to start a farm and sell eggs. And we decided that Douglas doesn't really need our organic eggs and our goat cheese and milk, but Douglas needs jobs. And so one way that we thought we could give jobs to Douglas is through volunteer to employment with a food bank. And so we're here, well, I'm here by myself today, but we want to start a food bank here in Douglas, and it would be called Arizona Roots. And that would be designed to people who volunteer. They would transition into a work position, and then we would partner with other communities, other grocery stores. And with that, they would hopefully be able to, instead of just having a job here in Douglas, if they wanted to go to the city, if, you know, and work for like Whole Foods or other organizations that we get our food from, they'll have a direct access to that. So I'm here just to let you know that we have started a nonprofit, and it's called Arizona Roots, and it will be hopefully a food bank that you can go to, not just a regular grocery store, but anyone would be able to go to it and purchase food at the grocery store. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, and keep in touch on that, please. Item number 9, discussion decision on approval of consent agenda items. Item A, for the month of May 2025, expenditures for the month of May 2025 totaling $3,274,315.72. B, meeting minutes for May 14, 2025. C, authorizing the execution of a license agreement for private parking and improvements in public right-of-way with Kim V. and Luis A. Peralta, husband and wife, for city-owned right-of-way adjacent to licensee-owned parcel 410-18-039B for purposes of private parking and improvements. And D, authorizing a license agreement between Family Healthcare Amigos and the City of Douglas, granting a non-exclusive license to use a portion of city-owned property to locate 2 non-affixed Connex box containers for agency-related storage. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Mayor,
Mr. Montaño,
I move that the mayor and council approve the consent agenda items A through G.
do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Montaño, second by Mrs. Rodriguez. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. Item 10, discussion decision on approvals. If it is okay with council, I'll be, at the request of Mr. Martinez, I'll be moving up, item F, fiscal year 2024 audit presentation. Is that okay with everyone? Mr. Martinez? Or, yeah, Mr. Martinez?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. With us tonight via Zoom, we have Andrew Roth, who is our from the PUN Group, who is the city's independent auditor, who will be presenting the fiscal year 2024 audit to mayor and council required by Arizona state law.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow city council members, and members of the public. I'm here to present the financial statements for the year ended June 30th, 2024. And I was going to share my screen if that's possible.
Just, just a moment, Andrew.
I think we're good. You guys see the screen now?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, great. So kind of wanted to go through, so some items we're going to go through tonight are going to be a scope of work, some required communications based on the audit standards, some kind of general overview of the financial statements, some financial indicators, the audit results, and if there's any questions, we'll go from that point. Scope of work. So we are, as the independent auditors, by the way, I'm Andrew Roth, audit partner with Poon Group, the external auditors. We were engaged for the year ended June 30, 2024 to audit the annual comprehensive financial report. That's the main report, the financial audit of the city, to perform single audit under uniform guidance, which is federal funding received by the city during the year and expended. Reports on the annual expenditure limitation and the highway user revenue fund. And we also do provide assistance in preparing the financial statements. So some required communications under the auditing standards. So one thing you want to kind of look at is going to be the significant accounting policies. If you want to get like really good understanding of kind of like the reporting entity, what we're reporting in whole, any kind of changes, because I know there's a change in the discretely presented component unit, or kind of just the overall accounting policies that went together in making these financial statements, you're going to want to look at note 1. Within note 1, you're going to note the city did implement GASB 100, that's accounting changes and corrections that did not have a significant effect on the financial statements this year. So you won't see any significant changes due to that, but they did implement a new GASB standard statement this year. And it is kind of a decrease because previous years we've got the like leases and subscription-based information technology arrangements, which are larger pronouncements, but this one was a little easier. So to prepare the financial statements, management's required to prepare and utilize significant estimates. These include the fair market value of investments, the depreciation of capital assets that's going to be how long the capital assets are useful. So you'll depreciate over that period of time. And then also there's the net pension and OPEB liabilities and assets, which are estimates that are really based on the retirement plans. The city has a little bit less kind of choice on how those estimates are being figured out then, but we'll continue on. So when looking at some sensitive disclosures, you'll note that note 1 is a summary of significant accounting policies. Note 9, due to the complexity and size of the pension and OPEB, typically that's always a sensitive disclosure. So pension plans and other post-employment benefits. Other required disclosures is going to be any funds that have deficits or any expenditures that are in excess of the appropriations. We note 13 and other required disclosures. Note 14, that's going to be your commitments and contingencies. So these are going to be kind of any construction commitments or contingencies where there are potential liabilities that might be out there. And note 16, you're going to note there is a special item that we did have this year related to the discretely presented component unit and the sale of the La Paria apartments. So you'll note some other disclosures, some other information is that for misstatements, there were some corrected misstatements, about 8 of them, and then no uncorrected misstatements during the year. Management informed us, and to our knowledge, there was no consultation of other auditors regarding auditing and other matters, kind of auditor shopping. So there was no consultations with any other accountants. We encountered no significant difficulties in dealing with management, and we had no disagreements with management in terms of accounting treatments nor accounting procedures performed. Overview of the financial statements. So overall, the assets, this is going to be the overall government-wide. So assets did end at about 62.5 million, about $10 million increase. The deferred outflows of resources. So this is going to be primarily those pension and OPEB-related actuarially determined items, as well as contributions made after the measurement date, which is typically the year before. So it's about 1 year of contributions also. That decreased slightly to about 5.8 million. Liabilities is on increase about 5.6 million to 54 million. And then deferred inflows of resources did decrease slightly to 1.4 million. This is a mixture of both those actually determined amounts as well as any kind of different amounts related to leases. Net investment in capital assets, you'll note that there was an increase of 5.3 million overall, so about 24.8 million. Net investment capital assets, and that's going to be your capital assets net of any depreciation, accumulated depreciation, net of any related debt. So there was an increase, as you'll see that there was an increase in the overall capital assets, which is included within the asset amount. So restricted stayed pretty similar. Restricted net position and fund balance, which you're going to see in a couple slides, those relate to any kind of third party restrictions. That would be any restrictions put on by, say, a new law or ordinance, or any kind of grant agreement potentially. Unrestricted, so that's going to be everything that is the difference between those different pieces. And you'll note that that in the year end was about 18.9 million. That was about $1.6 million increase. But overall, the total net position, that's the assets minus assets deferred outflows minus liabilities and deferred inflows, did increase to 12.8. But you did see that unrestricted, which is everything else that's not including in other areas, did increase slightly. So you'll note in the change in net position. So program revenues are going to be those revenues that are directly relate to specific expenditures, or in this case, expenses. So you'll note that charges for services and operating grants contributions, charges for services were pretty steady, but you'll note the operating grants and contributions decreased slightly from year to year to about 4.8 million. So total program revenues did see a slight decrease, about 3 million to about 7.4 million. And that goes against the expenses. So you'll note that the expenses did increase from year to year. The expenses amount, when we talk about the expenses amount here, this is going to be expenses that everything in your governmental funds and your proprietary funds, but then it also has all the governmental fund conversion entries. So it's there's a lot of pension related entries in there. So it gets a little, it's all, when we go to the general fund, which is going to be next, you're going to note this is what you budget. But so this is you'll note expenses did increase. So your net cost of services was about 18.8 million. So that should be your expenses, take away those program revenues, which are directly related to expenses. So the other type of revenue you have that is not the program revenues is going to be your general revenues. It's going to be your sales tax, your shared revenue, state revenue, any kind of TOT tax. So that you'll see that you did have a $3.2 million increase in those general revenues to about 22.6 million. And then you'll take that and you'll see transfers. So transfers, you'll note there was about a small change in transfers. So overall change in that position was about $4 million, a decrease about 3.2 million from the prior year. So general fund, you're going to note the general fund assets. The general fund is going to be the main fund of the city. So the general fund assets decreased slightly to 23.8 million, about $1.7 million decrease. That's offset by then you have your liabilities, which is pretty steady. And then the deferred inflows of resources, which could be a mixture of your unavailable revenue, but this is going to be some leases, decreased slightly to 445,000. So looking at fund balance, so non-spendable, that's going to be any kind of prepaids, inventories, or similar items which are not in a spendable form, did decrease slightly to 173,000, so about $700,000 decrease. So restricted fund balance in the general fund, as stated, similar, so it's third party or any restrictions based on law, ordinance, or any kind of grant agreement. That did see a slight decrease of 3.3 million. Your unassigned fund balance is going to be your rainy day fund. So you did see an increase in your unassigned fund balance, rainy day fund about 550,000. So you'll see that later on when we do a financial indicator on that piece. So for the general revenue, general fund, change in fund balance, you're going to note the revenues for the year. There was an increase in revenues for the year, about 587,000 to 26.4 million. You'll note that you also note that expenditures did increase about 19.2 million from 14.8 million, about $4.3 million increase in expenditures. So you will notice that the revenues over expenditures about 7.1 million. That'll be offset by other financing sources and uses. So it's going to be transfers and any kind of other lease related items, lease financing or bond related items, which mainly is. So you'll note that the change in fund balance for the current year was about a decrease of about $1.5 million in the general fund. Financial indicators. So the big financial indicator here is going to be your unassigned fund balance to your annual expenditures. The GFOA does state that a best practice is 20%. That gives you about a 3%. So it gives you about 20%. So it's going to give you about a 3-month window of a rainy day fund. So you're looking at your annual expenditures of your general fund. So as of right now, you have about a 92%, so you guys are well above the GFOA. It's recommended, kind of like best practice on like a minimum rainy day fund. So you guys are looking pretty good there. So audit results. So our audit results is we had unmodified opinions by opinion unit. That's a clean opinion. That's what you're looking for. That states the financial statements are fairly presented in all material specs. They're in conformity with GAAP. Significant accounting policies have been consistently applied. Estimates are reasonable and the disclosures are properly reflected in the financial statements. You'll note that you are in compliance for both of the additional reports, both the Highway User Revenue Fund, which reviews kind of the use of the highway user tax funds, as well as the annual expenditure limit report. You're in compliance for that as well. We did note, as for the single audit, we gave an unmodified opinion, so it's going to state that the city complied in all material specs with the type of compliance requirements that could have a direct and material effect on those major programs. So that is the audit results, and that is my presentation.
Thank you. We'll move to item A, resolution number 25-1671, resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, adopting the tentative estimates of the amount required for the public expense of the city of Douglas for fiscal year 2025-2026, adopting tentative budget, setting forth the receipts and expenditures and the amount proposed to be raised by various means, and giving notice of the time for hearing taxpayers on the adoption of the final budget. Mr. Martinez?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, here we go. The tentative budget adoption for the city of Douglas City Manager's recommended budget must be approved in accordance with Arizona's revised statute 42-171101, which sets the ceiling for spending. Staff presented the proposed 25-26 operating budget at the special joint council and finance committee meeting on May 28th. There have been some minor changes as far as the numbers go since that meeting. Our state shared revenue, or final estimations for state shared revenue came in, so we had to adjust those. Our EPT, which is our sales tax, came $22,000 lower than expected. Our income tax came in almost $29,000 lower than expected. BLT, which is our vehicle licensing tax, it came almost $3,000 more than originally expected. And as far as PERF, it came in $3,500 less than expected. So the other major change since that meeting was a 3% increase in workers' compensation insurance, which we had to make some adjustments for any department that has employees. So the numbers, the proposed balanced general fund budget for the upcoming fiscal year, based on those changes, it's $18,365,692. With a considering transfers, that amount is $22,528,372, and this information is all on the memo. I also want to point out that on June 4th, the Finance Committee met to review the proposed budget. That committee voted 4-1 to recommend the budget as presented, with one member expressing a preference for a less conservative revenue projections and investment earnings. Staff offered to prepare a report on investment earnings performance over the past 5 years. Chairman/Mayor Grijalva also suggested on the next budget cycle, staff explain how revenue projections are developed to allow more committee input. No other recommendations were made.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 25-1671?
Mayor,
Mr. Costa.
I move that the mayor and council approve resolution number 25-1671.
Do I have a second? Motion by Mr. Acosta, second by Mr. Boadenegro. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Councilmember Montenegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes. Item B, second reading of ordinance number 25-1211, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, levying upon the assessed valuation of the property within the city of Douglas, subject to taxation, a certain rate upon each $100 of valuation sufficient to raise the amount estimated to be required in the annual budget and providing funds for general municipal expenses, offer the fiscal year ending the 30th day of June 2026, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Martinez.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, every fiscal year, the city of Douglas is required to adopt its annual property tax levy and submit certification of that levy to the Cochise County Board of Supervisors no later than the third Monday in August. This year, the certification must be submitted on or before August 18, 2025. Mayor and council approved the first reading of this ordinance at the May 14, 2025 regular meeting. This is now the second reading of its ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. May I have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 25-1211?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez.
I move that the mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance number 25-1211 by number and title only.
Do I have a second? Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Bolanegro. Any discussion? Not hearing discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Councilmember Montenegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes. Item C, second reading of ordinance number 25-1212, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a lease agreement with Hensel Phelps Construction Company for 21,500 square feet of vacant land at city-owned parcel 408-34-008B for purposes of conducting construction contractor operations for the construction of the new Douglas Commercial Port of Entry, authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Pedrosa.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Hensel Phelps Construction Contractor is scheduled to break ground on the 80-acre parcel by August of 2025 for the new commercial port of entry, and they're seeking a lease for vacant land from our 5-acre parcel adjacent to that 80-acre parcel for the purposes of a construction yard and general office purposes. As the council knows, the city built a temporary well site on that 5-acre parcel, and Hensel Phelps is seeking the vacant land right around that facility. They would be responsible for all improvements. They expect to be at the site for about 42 months. The rent was negotiated at $650 per month. Basically same rental rate as provided before to the border wall contractors in 2024. And this is an ordinance presented to you as second reading because it is longer than 12 months. It goes via ordinance and staff recommends approval.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa. May I have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 25-1212?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Shelton.
I move that the mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance number 25-1212 by number and title only.
You have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Mr. Montaño. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Councilmember Montenegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes. Item D, second reading of ordinance number 25-1213, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending chapter 2.02 of the Douglas Municipal Code, specifically as to section 2.02.020, rules of conduct for council meetings, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Andrade.
Mr. Mayor. Second reading of the amendment to the Douglas Municipal Code, chapter 2.02, specific to 0.20 rules of conduct for the council meetings. At the first reading, we presented and mentioned that a couple of changes, minor changes were added to the agenda order, including, as you have seen, events updates, mayor and council member updates, and no reports at the beginning of the meeting to allow for citizens that attend the meetings during the first meeting of, during the first hour of the meeting, to be able to get all of that information from mayor and council and also from the agenda. One of the last items on the agenda is future agenda item request from the mayor and council. This was separate items. One was reports by the mayor and the second was council members' reports. So we need to file that item. The last revision to this section under the business proposal was in 2012. The legal department and the city clerk's office will be working on future amendments to Title II, but we will need to review very carefully this Title II in order to make the proper ordinance amendments for future amendments.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 25-1213? Mr. Bodanego.
I move that the mayor and council approve the second reading of 25-1213.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bodanego, second by Mr. Shelton. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Bodanego?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes. Item E, first reading of ordinance number 25-1214, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the purchase of real property located at the southeast corner of Cochise Community College, Douglas campus, property with assessor parcel number 407-61-013, approving the purchase and sale agreement with the Cochise County Community College District, authorizing the mayor and the city manager to execute all necessary documents, establishing the severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Pedrosa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. The purchase of an approximately 3.4 acre portion of existing Cochise College Douglas campus property is proposed for the construction of the new water well system to be utilized for the west expansion and the commercial port of entry to the west of town, and as well as surrounding development. Part of the city and the county's master plan for the west expansion project dictated that it would serve the new commercial port of entry. It includes the new construction of new well near Cochise College, Douglas campus. The location was determined as a result of various factors that would provide the right distance to furnish the required pressure to the POE and allow the city to provide water to the Douglas campus, which was also critical to grant award requirements that required serving existing infrastructure as opposed to non-existing or new development. The new well site consists of a new well, treatment facilities, a groundwater tank, various piping, electrical, and appurtenances vital for the operation of this new well site. Due to the city needing to provide water by May of 2027 to the POE, we are trying to move quickly to secure the site, begin the, we have already begun the design of the well site actually, which city council approved in a recent meeting. By securing the parcel, we can move forward with the survey as well to carve out that 3.4 acres and prepare for, we're actually, we just finished the design of that and we're ready to put it out for bid. The college is in agreement to become a city customer, and as part of this purchase agreement, providing the portion of land to the city in consideration of the city incurring costs to build a new water system and furnish water to the college, as well as sewer, but in the future, and spelled out within 10 years in the agreement. And it's been the intent to continue to pursue those efforts. The agreement also states that impact fees are covered by the consideration of the land acquisition. The well site will be located on the southeast corner of Cochise College campus. Actually, they wanted 50 feet of distance away from the service road. The agreement also calls for access agreements and easements that would be agreed upon to service the well. In addition, the city will bring forward an IGA to the college and for the respective boards for approval to kind of delineate the different responsibilities of the well. And we also want to use their existing well as backup, being able to hook up our system to their existing system and utilize in case the well goes down for whatever reason, we have a backup source from their existing well, which is functional and various new improvements have been already made. I just want to say the college is excited. Their board approved this agreement yesterday. We have another reading to go, but they're excited to be a customer of the city. And staff recommends approval of the purchase agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa. May I have a motion to approve the placement of ordinance 25-1214?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Shelton,
I move the mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 25-1214 on its first reading by number and title only.
do I have a second? Motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Mr. Bolanegro. Any discussion?
Quick question, just to make sure, it's gonna be, they're gonna give us this land, right?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Montaño, the consideration is that they give us the land in exchange for us bringing the service to them. Yes.
And then another question, how is the water quality in the current well there? Because I know there's a lot of farming around there. Is there any considerations or issues with the quality of the water there?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Montaño, they are currently meeting the standards for potable water use. There is some concern that arsenic levels have risen in just the last year or so. Not quite to the point that it exceeds the ADQ MCL requirements. They're still under those. But as part of our process, when we're drilling a well, we test at certain levels when we're drilling, and we're going to drill deeper, by the way. And we're going to choose a water stream that is the most advantageous, that would give us the more pumping capacity as well as the quality that we need. And we're not ruling treatment for arsenic. That could be a possibility. So we won't know until we actually start drilling and find out what those samples bring back.
Now, follow-up question, how far after the drilling will you know if the quality of the water is good enough? Because we don't want to dig 300 feet and then figure out.
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Montaño, very good question. They begin by drilling a pilot hole. They don't drill the entire, diameter where it's more expensive. So they begin drilling pilot holes, and at certain intervals, I'll leave that to the engineers as to what certain levels are within their standards to check those qualities. And that's where we kind of get together and make a decision at that point.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
One other question too. This is in the budget, right?
Councilmember.
Is this going to be in our budget or with the budget with Port of Entry?
Mayor, Councilmember Shelton, yes, it is. It's grant funded. We have ARPA funds from both county and state. We also have a Army Corps of Engineer grant, as well as a WIFA grant, that we're combining all those funds to pay for these infrastructure. We're not fully funded yet. Want to emphasize that we're still kind of out there. We have a couple of grant applications out there to get us fully funded. But in the meantime, we're obviously funding what we can and beating the bushes for the rest of the funding to come in and execute on the rest of the project. We're talking about a $42 million project to extend all utilities, and we've secured about $20 million so far.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? There's no discussion. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño.
Yes.
Councilmember.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion passes.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the purchase of real property located at southeast corner of Cochise Community College Douglas campus property with assessor's parcel number 407-61-013, approving the purchase and sale agreement with Cochise County Community College District, authorizing the mayor and the city manager to execute all necessary documents, establishing several legal components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 25-1214?
Mayor,
Mr. Acosta.
I move that the mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 25-1214 and to place it on the second reading by number and title.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Acosta, second by Mr. Shelton. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Valdenegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the purchase of real property located at southeast corner of Cochise Community College Douglas campus property with assessor parcel number 407-61-013, approving the purchase and sale agreement with the Cochise County Community College District, authorizing the mayor and the city manager to execute all necessary documents, establishing several legal components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item G, community funding request for the Douglas Area Food Bank. We're supposed to have Mrs. Urquijo read it, but at the request of Mr. Shorty Fimbres, he's asked us to table this item for a future meeting. Do I have a motion to table it?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez.
I move to table item G,
Do I have a second?
community funding request. for the
Second.
Douglas.
Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Shelton. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes. Item 11, city manager reports. Mrs. Urquijo.
Yes, thank you. Mayor, members of the council, I'd like to thank you all tonight for the approval of our tentative budget for fiscal year 25-26. And just an appreciation and a shout out to our executive leadership team and our budget team, very strong in their expertise on all of the mechanical components that are required to put this together. So I just want to express my appreciation and also for all of you, because we continue to work toward a future that reflects our shared vision and aspirations. And we remain confident in the knowledge that careful planning today will yield significant benefits in the years to come and continue to align with vision of mayor and council. So appreciative of that, knowing that we've set that ceiling. We look forward to finalizing that in July at our regular meeting. Wanted to just give a quick snippet again on the presentation made by Mayor Grijalva just yesterday in Mexico City. As he mentioned, he reported on the two-port solution at a binational level and urged the continued support of finalizing of crossing points and summarize the project by these points. Urged that or reminded that the U.S. side has committed $653 million to the two-port solution. Stated that groundbreaking is expected for Douglas West in August of 2025. That local and state investments in infrastructure exceed 120 million. Encourage the finalization of next steps on the modification to the land donation on the Mexican side, and reminded that we're awaiting the new diplomatic note from Mexico on our new crossing points, final design, and dates for construction. We do have follow-up with State of Sonora representatives next week, along with the U.S. Consulate Office, and just to check on progress, and we'll continue to meet regularly to keep up to date on the developments. So as the mayor stated, Douglas was mentioned 2 or 3 times before we even started presentations yesterday, and he did a very good job representing. Also, Douglas Rides will be partnering with the DHS class of 1975 to provide transportation for a local tour of several locations in our city on Saturday, July 5th, 2025. The allocation amounts for our CDBG entitlement communities were announced by HUD in May. Staff has identified the proposed activities for the program year and has made the draft annual action plan for CDBG fiscal year 25 available for the public to review and comment from June 6th to July 7th, 2025. The draft plan is available on the city's website, and a desk copy is available for inspection at City Hall. All comments received will be considered in preparation of the final annual action plan prior to the public hearing and mayor and council approval at the July 9th meeting. The contractor rehabilitating the back nine at the golf course began work on May 12th. They will be repairing and replacing heads and wire and grassing after the system becomes functional. Project is scheduled to be complete by mid-August. We have many grants that we continue to beat the bushes for more funding for exciting projects in our local community, and staff continues to work towards closing gaps on all of our major projects. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Ricky. Item 12, future agenda item requests from mayor and council. Do we have any?
Mayor,
Mr.
I just
Gonzalez?
have a comment, for future presentation, if we could, put it on the agenda to allow for questions and comments on the presentation.
Will be noted. Any other? No other request. Item 13, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez,
move to adjourn.
do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Shelton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. We adjourn at 6:55 PM.
Have a good evening, Dennis.
Good night, Dennis. Thank
Night, you guys have a good night. Take care.
Yeah.